You will think that having beautiful images of our round blue planet is enough to convince everyone that the Earth is round. But some people still believe the Earth is flat. So what's the real shape of our planet? Today we'll look into this age-old question. We'll explore what scientists have discovered about the Earth's shape and why it matters. Plus, we'll also touch on some interesting facts. Whether you're new to this topic or you've pondered it before, this video is set to shed light on the Earth's true form. Why round Earth and not flat Earth? Long ago, people thought the Earth was flat. They believed this until Greek thinkers like Aristotle saw new star patterns in Egypt and started to question this idea. Aristotle's travels and observations led him to conclude that the Earth must be a sphere. Later on, a smart man named Eratosthenes did some clever calculations and figured out how big the Earth is. This was way back in the 3rd century BC. As time went on, scholars from the Islamic world took these ideas further, making even more precise measurements. Then, in the 16th century, European sailors traveled around the Earth, proving it was round. Finally, when we started sending things into space and taking pictures, there was no doubt left. The Earth was round. But even with all this proof, some people in the 1800s didn't want to believe it. They wanted to stick to old stories and not trust new scientific discoveries. One of these people was Samuel Rowbotham from England. He came up with his idea that the Earth was flat like a disc, with the North Pole in the middle and a big wall of ice around the edge. This idea might have stayed a small, quirky belief, but then came the International Flat Earth Research Society in 1956. Started by Samuel Shenton in the UK, it was more of a funny thing than something people took seriously. However, with the internet becoming a big deal in the 2000s, these flat Earth ideas started popping up again, especially in the US. Online forums and websites brought people together who believed the Earth was flat, and they even started having their meetings. There are many different versions of the flat Earth idea. Some people say there's a big ice wall around the edge, while others think we're living under a giant dome, like a snow globe. They have all sorts of explanations for day and night, saying the sun and moon are much closer and smaller than we think, moving in circles above the flat Earth. Most scientists find these ideas pretty silly, but the surprising part is how many people believe it. It's not just in America. These beliefs are spreading across the world. Even in places like Brazil and some Islamic countries, more and more people are starting to question the round Earth. Why flat Earth and not round Earth? Long ago, people couldn't fly up high to see the shape of the Earth, so the land around them seemed flat and endless. The sun rising and setting and the stars moving in the sky all made it look like the Earth was a flat stage with a dome above. Different cultures have their own stories. Ancient Egyptians and folks in Mesopotamia thought the Earth was a disk floating in water, with the sky like a big tent over it. A really old tablet from Iraq even shows a map of Babylon right in the middle of a flat Earth. The Greeks had their idea with a guy named Anaximander imagining the Earth as a flat circle sitting on a cylinder. Norse legends talked about a flat Earth surrounded by a big sea, with a giant tree or pillar in the middle. In India, some old texts said the Earth was made of stacked flat layers, while others thought it was like a wheel lying flat. And in China, people believed the Earth was flat and square, like a board. For a long time, people who thought the Earth was flat were called names like crazy and were not taken seriously by most. Flat Earth was talked about a lot back then, even when people were making big discoveries in metal and building great cities near the east. But now, some smart scientists from the University of Malta, Dr. Harry Johnson, Prof. Anita Bath, and Dr. Oliver Klosoff, have found something that might change everything we thought we knew regarding the shape of the Earth. They've been looking into this for 25 years with help from other big universities, and they started this huge project in Malta. Back in 1996, a group of scientists in Malta started studying something to do with the air around us and how it reacts with a special kind of molecule found in the Netherlands. They wanted to learn more about how our world is changing because of things like pollution. Dr. Klosoff has been part of this big project right from the start. The conspiracy. Ashley Landrum, who studies people's beliefs at Texas Tech, says flat earthers don't just ignore science. They don't trust big groups and experts like NASA. They think these groups are hiding the truth. Landrum says this distrust is like a deep belief, almost like being very religious, but it's not about following a specific religion. Landrum also notices that people who think this way often don't believe other things they're told, like real facts about the weather or what's in airplane trails. Lee McIntyre, a researcher from Boston University, found that these people often believe the moon landing was fake. They don't trust the photos from space either. They think all this evidence is just made up to trick them. Nick Effingham, a philosopher, met some flat earthers and noticed something important. We all rely on experts for many things we believe. Like, we believe the earth is round because scientists say so, even if we haven't seen all the proof ourselves. But flat earthers question this trust in experts. They want very simple proof for what they believe and very, very strong proof against what they don't want to believe. Debating the flat earthers. Understanding the shape of our Earth is something scientists have figured out well. There are a lot of ways we can see for ourselves the shape of our planet. One simple way to see this is by watching how things disappear in the distance. Like, if you watch a boat sailing away, you'll notice that the bottom part of it vanishes first, and then the top. This happens because of the Earth's curve. The same goes for tall things far away, like mountains. You can see their tops from far away, even when you can't see the bottom. Back in the 1930s, a pilot named Captain Albert Stevens took some amazing photos from way up high that showed the Earth's curve. He flew over Argentina and took a picture where you could see the Andes Mountains in the distance. Even though the mountains were super tall, they looked like they were below the level where the sky meets the land, which is because of how the Earth curves. And then, in 1935, Stevens and another pilot went up in a balloon high, over 72,000 feet up. They took a photo that showed the Earth's curve clearly, along with the edge of our atmosphere. The air around us can make things look a bit funny sometimes because it bends light, but this bending also gives us hints that the Earth is round. Another cool thing is how we see different stars from different places on Earth. In the northern part of the world, you can see a star called Polaris that's almost directly above the North Pole. But if you go south, towards the equator, Polaris gets lower and lower until you can't see it at all. And in the southern part of the world, you get to see a whole bunch of different stars that you can't see from the north. There's also a neat trick you can try if you're in a flat place. From the ground, you can see stars right down to where the sky seems to touch the ground. But if you go higher, like up a mountain, you can see even more stars a bit lower in the sky, because you're looking over some of the Earth's curve. So, where do you stand? Flat or round Earth? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.